What's good? What's good? It's your boy DJ Creed back with another video. Man, your boy Charleston White be on one sometimes. Y'all know how I do it. You know, I try to see videos like this and try to one either get some context, some insight, or to go against whatever the person is spewing, especially if it's not in the interest of black people. In this video, he says black people are violent. I will have something to say. This is he also is speaking on that Carmelo Anthony and the young man who got his life taken away. Um but I will say this. Uh, Charleston White is a shock jock, but it doesn't do any good if it's hurting the black community. It's good for your pockets, but it's not doing anything for anybody else. But anyway, here we go.
Calf ass go look. No, that boy going
Carmelo
to jail.
Anthony's gonna go to jail.
Carmelo going to jail because this. Listen, you cannot bring a weapon to school,
Yeah.
so you can't say I was.
What if he says? But what if he says self-defense? Like,
There's no self-defense because if you are afraid the day before, well, you have to take a weapon to school. Why not notify your parents? Parents, you notify the school teacher. School teacher that's bringing these kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution. We was taught in homes that has morals and values, you tell the teacher. Somebody with you, you tell the teacher. Let the teacher know. So when y'all have an altercation, you're cleared and you're covered. Documentation beats conversation. So words of documentation just say this is self-defense. It's a premeditated crime because you took a weapon in fear. Anticipating to use it.
that was premeditated, though.
And it said a track meet. You getting ready to run track with other kids and you got a knife on you. No, man, you got to go to jail. You got to go. There's no so when is it all right to kill the bully? I don't give what the bully did. He don't have a right to die.
No.
Man, you weak man. That's why I say teach the kids how to deal with bullies and this won't happen. We're all not equal. Even in nature, you can be feeding a flock of birds. There's going to always be one bird to come in and take the food from the. This is nature. Yeah. You cannot get rid of bullies. Teach the kids how to deal with them. Bullies build character. You go to work. It's going to be a bully supervisor, a bully co-worker. You cannot get rid of the bully. Teach our children conflict resolution. Everything don't have to end in violence. But when you come from the black culture, everything is disputed in violence.
Yeah. That is the problem, though. That's how you.
It's the culture.
That's the culture. Is that's how they solve when you have a serious issue. They don't even contemplate trying to talk it out.
We teach a no snitching rule, right? So our kids are walking around with these mafia rules, codes, and ethics of the streets that's held over children about no snitching. So now I have to take a weapon because I don't want to be a snitch and kill another kid. Oh, it's a simple solution. Go tell the teacher. Tell your parents.
Yeah.
It's a simple solution.
I know, but but what sounds crazy. I know it sounds so.
It sounds crazy from the snitch. All right. I will say this. Is he correct on some things? Yes. It's a lot of things he's not correct on. I've done videos about this. I'm going to do more. Because you got to have more than one point of view. It seems like people will let Charleston White spew whatever and not even challenge what he's saying. You know, especially white people. White people just gonna be like, yeah, I agree. And it's nuance to every situation. You know, I'm gonna say this. The way us adults talk about these conflicts, we are speaking from a place of privilege. We're speaking from a place of one, we're not over emotional about it. Two, we have been through whatever we've been through. Three, and the things that we've been through made us realize how to resolve these issues. So we're speaking from a place of privilege. It's always easy to say something in hindsight. It's always. Anything in life is easy to say in hindsight. I say that. You're privileged to sit there and say, well, you should just tell. Now, I'm not saying in this instance, in the Carmelo Anthony and the I forget the young man's name. My apologies. in their instance, we know he didn't tell nobody, but suppose it's been there are instances where you could tell your teacher, your mom, your dad, and very little is done. Sometimes kids don't feel like they could talk to their parents or their teachers or anything like that. Man, see, a lot of times black people like this will talk and make black people a monolith. Don't nobody like being don't nobody like being pointed to as the example for their culture or their race, especially when it's something bad, you know. And I think this is wrong. I think this is wrong. I think most of what he said has truth in it, but I think it's very, very, very misguided. You know, the second thing I want to bring up is when he was talking about the bird come get the food. It's always a bigger dude that come get the food. You forget in nature, yeah, the bigger dude is always being challenged by the next upcoming animal or predator or whatever. Like a lion. Lions constantly being challenged every day. So if you're that person who takes people food, you better be ready to get your food taken. So it doesn't make any sense when he be saying stuff and people just be like, yo, he's saying the right thing. He's saying the right thing. It doesn't make any sense. All the right things to do always can be said after something happens. We don't know what was going through Karmelo Anthony's mind to make him feel like he needed a knife. Maybe it was something going on at home. Maybe he got beat up before. Maybe he was doing something else. We don't know. And I've read some stuff that Karmelo Anthony was in the tent because it was raining, and dude asked him, the Metcalf young man asked him to move, or they got into a fight. I don't know, or an argument or something. And he was like, "Dog, don't touch me, don't do this." Then it escalated. So if there's components of, "Dog, leave me alone," before I do something to you. He ain't necessarily, I don't think he meant to kill him, but that's what happened. So if you're allowing a person to bully another person or to punk somebody else, dog, then you speaking nature rules. Let it take its course. And I'm not in no way I'm defending um, the young man dying. But we gotta start putting some sense to it. And the next thing I wanted to bring up is Charleston White saying black people are violent. Black people are the most resilient, most non-violent people you can come across. In order to even get the Civil Rights Act passed, we showed that we can be non-violent, and we are non-violent. You know, let's get that straight. And the mafia rules that he's talking about were from the like 20s, 30s. Al Capone them. These are American rules. Wild Wild West rules of being strapped, of having guns, of killing. I don't want to say that, but of protecting yourself by any means necessary, armed to the teeth. So when you say, it's funny how when a white person has a gun, it's okay. But when the other person has the gun, it's a violent act of whatever. Just remember, like, these things, this society has been ruled by a more violent people. White people, and I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not trying to make this racy, but most of the stuff we do today wasn't invented by a white person. It wasn't controlled by a white person. It was taken and converted and and black people were left out of the process. And see, this is why a person like Charleston White thinks that everything was invented or contributed or made right by a white person. It's because he's not even studying his own history. 90% of the stuff we do and say and mouth and all that came from places like Africa. So I just think, you know, when he says it, it sounds good. It always sounds good when you say, yeah, black people this because white people this. It always sounds good. But when you do your actual research, I wish he would talk to somebody like Godfrey. Godfrey would eat Charleston White up. He would, without a doubt. Because the things that he say only make sense to people who want to hear what he has to say. And I don't mind you giving your opinion, but violence as a people, we've been the most nonviolent. That's how they got all these people over here, all these black folks over here. Whether you believe in the slave trade or not, or we was native or whatever. We were God-fearing people and got played upon that. Let's bring context into black people. We are soulful, spiritual people, and that's why music, the vibrations of music, of the drum, move us so much. It seems like we're hypnotized with music. It's because we are a part of that spiritual branch. I don't want this to be lost. People are letting Charleston White erase a whole history of a race of people who have survived and contributed to the world. So I just wanted to put that out there, man, because it's a lot of people saying, "Yeah, Charles right, always right. Oh, he say everything right." He don't be talking the truth, because if you dig deeper, you'll understand that trickery has to be involved, and people like him with this mentality, even if you're playing, you destroy a string of legacy that our ancestors fought for, that you need to be fighting for, and that if we don't pay attention, we could lose it all. But that's all I had to say for this one. I got more videos with Charleston White. I love talking about this, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I can talk about this all day. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. More content is on the way. Let me know if you agreed or if you don't, man. I respect all people's opinions. You know what I'm saying? Black, white, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to blame everything on this or that or make anything racy. But I do want to come over here because these type of people don't sit with people who push back on them. He only sits around people who gonna let him spew off whatever. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.